Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Wholesale Real Estate Investing Show number 257 by SAHA. That's us. And today is Wisdom Wednesday. No, I always want to say February. May 11th, 2016. Welcome, real estate investors. Welcome, wholesale investors. Welcome, all of you people who are interested in possibly getting into real estate investing, whether it be wholesale or fix and flip or buy and hold investing, whatever it is that you're interested in getting into. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about some wholesale real estate aspects, because that's what we do. We are wholesale real estate investors here in Phoenix, Arizona, one of the premier companies in the valley. And you know, I'm going to talk a little bit today about the money, because that's what we're all here for, isn't it? It's all about the money, right? I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Money makes the world go round. You know, you have to have money to live in this world. You have to have a certain amount of money coming in every month just to live and survive in this world. It's a part of life, okay? They say money can't buy happiness, but lack of money sure can't buy it either. So I'll tell you what we got here today. Says $2,000 per deal, earnings or cost. So $2,000 per deal. So if I'm going to go do wholesale real estate, I'm going to make $2,000 a deal. Nope, that's not it. If you're going to go do wholesale real estate, here in Phoenix, Arizona, anyway, it's very well could be different in other markets. It could be higher in some other markets. It could be lower in some other markets. Arizona, well, I'm not in Phoenix, Arizona. I'm here in Lake Tahoe, California, because I'm on vacation. But that's why I'm all bundled up. He's like, what's this guy wearing gloves and all bundled up when he's in Phoenix, Arizona, right? I should probably explain that. No, I'm in Lake Tahoe, California. This is where my home is, and I am on a little hiatus from work. I wouldn't call it a vacation. I would call it a hiatus from the business, not even work, from the business. And come up here in the springtime and get the house in order, do some yard work, things like that. Busted my tail yesterday, and I am stiff and sore today, and it's a cold morning, and so if I'm a little slow, forgive me. Oh man, that feels so good. So yeah, $2,000 a deal. Actually, like I was about to say here, if you're getting into Phoenix, the Phoenix, Arizona market, and you want to be doing wholesale real estate investing, under the basic wholesaling is, in today's market, it's costing around $2,000 per deal to land a deal. That's to get the deal. Okay, so if you're thinking, hey, I get into wholesale real estate, and if I just did a deal a month, making $5,000 a deal, right? That would be 12 deals in a year, which would be $60,000, which is pretty good. I mean, most people could live off of that. Most people could improve their lives off of that. I mean, I think the median earnings in this country is like just under $50,000 a year. So basically, half the country, or more than half the country, could improve their life just by flipping one wholesale deal, real estate deal a month every year, and earning $60,000. Except for the fact that if you consider that it's going to cost you $2,000 per deal to get that deal, you're really only making $3,000 a deal, which is now only $36,000. So that's not going to cut it, is it? $36,000. I mean, now if you can do that in your spare time, and you can add that $36,000 to the $36,000 or the $40,000 or the $50,000 that you're making right now, that could make a huge difference in your life. That could be big, real big. However, they do Tell everybody that you can do wholesale real estate part-time, that it doesn't take very much. They talk about how, I only put, 4 hours into that deal of actual working time and made, my $10,000 or whatever it is. But in reality, wholesale real estate is going to take a lot of time. There's a lot of time that goes into a deal. It's not just the 4 hours that it seems like, you picked up the phone, you talked to a seller, you picked up the phone, you talked to a buyer, you went out and got a contract, and then you turn around, put it in escrow, and boom, you're done, you got paid. There's a lot more that goes into it. There can be a lot more that goes into it, especially when it comes to dealing with title issues and things going on with your escrow, all the comping of the properties. There's a lot. It's going to take you. You're going to put a lot more in than just a few hours to get any deal that comes your way. Trust me. So you got to figure you're putting in a lot of time, and you have to work still. If you're working, you're doing this part-time after work. So how do you actually, how many deals can you really actually do in a month? You should realistically be able to get a deal a month, 2 deals a month, just by doing it part-time. So if you could get now 2 deals a month, and you're at, 120,000, and you're still earning, and I'm on the low end. Hey, maybe you can average $7,000 a deal. Maybe you can average $10,000 a deal. That would make a huge difference. But considering, on the low end, the bare base minimum that you want to be averaging is $5,000 a deal in your profit. You would look at working for, doing 2 deals a month for the year. That's 50 deals. I'm giving you a 2-week vacation, okay? So we're only doing 50 deals, not 52 deals. I'm sorry. Those are weeks. Sorry. So we're doing 2 deals a month for 12 months. That's 24 deals. That would be $120,000, right? Not too bad, $120,000. However, again, that would only be $72,000 of actual profit. So that's kind of the base of what you're going to have to do. If you call it, instead of calling it 2 deals a month, how about a deal a week? And like I said, give yourself a 2-week vacation. So a deal a week at $5,000, that's, I'm sorry, a deal every other week. That's right. A deal every other week at $5,000 would be, what is that? Would that be 25 weeks? You have 25 times 5,000. That'd be $125,000 right there, cleared. And 25 times 3,000 is $75,000. So a $75,000 a year, like I said, here again, probably 60% of the country could be bringing home a better payday, annual payday at $75,000 than what they are now. So that's pretty powerful stuff. That's the capabilities. But here again, like I say, if you're doing 2 deals a week in wholesale real estate and you're working a full-time job, that's going to be a real taxing. It's going to take a lot of your time up. I mean, you really have to commit to this, and that's where the trouble starts. Is, number one, this extra cost that I'm talking about, this $2,000 that you have to put out just to attract your first deal. Then the reality of the time that it's going to take to actually, you actually have to put into that deal. I mean, consider this. You got to figure out what your marketing is going to be. You got to get your marketing sent out, and you got to answer phones. Okay. Now you're not just picking up one phone call and talking to one seller to get one deal. You're probably talking to 20 sellers before you get one deal. So how long are you going to be talking to each seller? 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour? I mean, if you just talk to each seller for 30 minutes, that's that's 10 hours right there. Now, if out of those 20 sellers that you talk to, maybe 5 of them seem like they have, well, maybe how many of them are you going to have to look and qualify these properties? You know, so now how much time is it going to take you to look into each one of these 20 properties? Well, let's say you can pretty much eliminate half of them. So 10 properties. How long is it going to take you to look into 10 properties and determine whether or not, you know, there might be a deal here? You know, that's another probably an hour each. So there's another 10 hours. That's 20 hours. Now, let's say you've narrowed it down to, you know, the one property that you now you got to call all these sellers back. I'm sorry. Now you got to call all these sellers back. There's another half an hour talk a piece. There's another 10 hours. That's 30 hours. Now you got to go. Now you're going to have to go out. You know, you narrowed it down. You've got 3 properties that are potentials here. Now you got to go look. You got to go drive to wherever they are in your town and look at 3 properties. You know, so there's another 5 hours of your time taken up. So now you're at 35 hours. Then you got to go back and talk to these 3 sellers again and renegotiate whatever you talked about with the price and everything else. Tell them what you found. Tell them what they found. You know, these are probably half-hour calls. There's another hour and a half. Call it 2 hours. You're up to 37 hours now. So now, okay, now you finally have, you know, one. Now you got to prepare a contract. You know, that shouldn't take you too long. Get it sent to them or deliver it to them or go meet them or whatever the case might be. But let's just add another hour, 39 hours onto this. Okay, so now you got your contract. You're 40 hours in just to get one contract. That's a week's work. Okay. You didn't just put in 5 hours and you've only gotten the contract now. You haven't gotten this thing sold. You haven't made any money yet. You just have a deal in your hands from which you can make some money. So now you got to go back to the drawing board. Now you got to go back to your marketing efforts. Now you got to put together a whole other marketing plan. Now you got to get all this other marketing to go out there. Here's where some more of your costs come in. And then now you're going to have to start talking to buyers. Now you got to start fielding buyer phone calls. Hey, what's this property you got? Oh yeah, all right, tell me about it, blah, blah, blah. Okay, great. So let's say you get, you know, another 10 or 20 buyer phone calls. You know, how long are you going to spend with each one of those? They're a lot shorter than seller calls, trust me. Buyers know what they're looking for. They can tell right away if you've got what they want. But however, you know, you might be talking to these buyers for a lengthy period of time to qualify them, find out more about what they're about so that you can know future deals that you can bring their way. So here again, let's just say half hour per call and there's 20 buyers. So there's another 10 hours. Now we're up to 50 hours. And then you finally get it narrowed down. You finally have a buyer who wants to go look at the property. So, you know, hopefully you have a lockbox on there. You're not having to go show the property, but, you know, hey, maybe there's a renter in there. Maybe you got to set this up. You got to get a hold of the seller. You got to contact the renter. You're the one that's got to put all this stuff together and make it all happen for this buyer to come check out your property. You know, there could be a few more hours involved with that. And then, so let's just add at least a couple, say 2 more hours on. We're at 52 hours now. Now you've got to prepare your contract. The buyer says he wants it. Now you got to prepare your contract. Maybe you had to renegotiate a little bit and prepare your contract. So there's another hour or 2. You're at 54 hours now. You got to go open your escrow, whether you're driving to your escrow company or they're coming to pick it up, whatever. You know, you've got some time in that. And then you're going to have some time following up with the escrow company as well too. I mean, if you're smart, you're not just going to set this thing into escrow and turn around and wait for, you know, escrow to call you up and say, hey, come get your check. If you're smart, you're going to be checking on them every now and then. How's things going? Where are we at? How's this deal coming along? Are there any problems? Anything I can help you with? Yada, yada, yada. So you're probably going to be putting in at least another few hours here. So let's say another 3-4 hours. You're up to 30, 56, 57 hours now. And then finally you get the deal closed and you have to pay. So you got 50 to 60 hours invested into closing this wholesale deal. And if you made $5,000, right, that's pretty good. I mean, that's a pretty good rate of return. I'm not sure exactly what that is. Let's see here. 5,000 divided by 60. Yeah, that's 83 bucks an hour. It's not too shabby, right? I'll take that all day long. although I make a lot, I've worked this up to where $83 an hour, I would be like, come on, I gotta make more than that. But no, I do make more. I mean, I do make that on many deals. We don't close all deals for big dollars. You know, some deals are smaller. Some deals we only make $83 an hour. Some deals we only make probably $20 an hour. But that's okay. We're still getting deals done. The other bigger ones make up for that stuff by a long shot. So $83 an hour. But the whole idea is you know, the concept of you only having to put 4 hours into getting that deal done is, you know, bull crapolio. You're going to put in time. So if you put 60 hours into one deal, you got another 60 hours going into another deal, same process. Maybe that cuts in half. That's still 80 hours. That's 2 weeks worth of work. You know, you're working a full-time job. You know, that's 160 hours and 80 hours. I don't know how many hours there are in a week, but but 160 hours and 80 hours, 240 hours. Let's just do the math. Let's just do the math. So we got 24 times 7 equals, there's only 168 hours in a week. In a week. And you just put 160 hours. No, you just put in how many hours? Oh, I said 50 and 20. You just put in 70, 80 hours into that, into getting that deal. So let's just say minus 70, 98. And then you sleep for 8 hours a day. What's 7 times 8 is 56, minus 56 equals 42. And you work for 40 hours a week. That's what I'm saying, guys. You got to commit to this. If you really want this, if you want to do this, if you want to be a successful wholesaler, you got to commit. You got to be willing to give up all your free time that you have right now, every bit of it, and devote it 100% to being successful at this. That's just how it is. If you don't do that, you know, you can plug away. And you can plug away and you can put in a little bit of time. You know, you can put in 10 hours a week, but now it's going to take you 8 weeks before you can get that first deal. It's probably going to take you that long anyway, but it's going to take you 8 weeks between deals. Let me put it that way. If it's 8 weeks between deals, that's 2 months between deals. That means you're only doing 6 deals in the year. That means you're only pulling down 30 grand, which you're actually only taking home 18. That's a great little bonus to your income. That's a nice hobby. It's a great high-paying hobby. You know what I mean? It's a great little sideline to boost your income, and if that's what you're looking for, great. But if you're looking for wholesale real estate to change your life, if you're looking for wholesale real estate to, you know, get you into the triple-digit earning area, you've got to commit 100% of whatever time you have available when you get started in this to making it successful. And that's the only way you're going to get there, because quite honestly, most people that are going to put in that little bit of time that's going to wait, you know, that's going to take at least 8 weeks, and that's probably what it takes almost anyway on for the average, is to, you know, about 8 weeks to your first deal. So doubling that now, because you're only putting a little bit of time in, you know, you're talking about 4 months before you actually land the first deal. That's actually, let's see, it took me almost 7 months for me to land my first deal. But I was committed. I stayed 100% in. I did everything, every minute that I could put into it, I was putting into it. And some of the minutes that I really couldn't put into it, I was putting into it at work time. But, you know, hey, you got to do what you got to do. But yeah, it took me 7 months to land my first deal. And that was 5 years ago, when deals were easier to come by. Deals are harder to come by nowadays. I said $2,000 per deal. Today, back then, it was $1,200 a deal. So the cost has gone up quite a bit per deal for landing a deal. So, you know, you've got to be able to, you've got to be willing to go all in, commit to going 100% into becoming a wholesale real estate investor. Otherwise, like I said, if you're going to do it on a part-time basis, you have to understand you're going to get part-time results, and you've got to be very, very, very patient So you either have to be super persistent or very patient, one of the two, because, and you have to have, a little bit of both in both sides. But you've got to be able to commit to what you're doing and not give up. It's going to happen for you if you do that. If you're willing to go all in and not give up on it, it will happen for you. It's going to take some time, regardless of, if you go full tilt or if you're going part-time, it's going to take some time, but it will happen for you, because if you set the intention to go out there and make this happen and you go to working at it, it's going to happen for you. That's just how the universe works. It says, hey, this guy really wants this. Let's let it happen for him. It's not going to make it easy for you, but it's a whole lot of fun seeing the trials and tribulations that you're going to get put through. But that's all part of the deal too. The learning and growing process is, like they say, the journey is half the adventure, right? So that's where I wanted to go with this show today. Here was talk about the money. What does it really cost to get a wholesale deal? Like I said, $2,000 per deal. That's the Phoenix market. Now, wherever you're at, it could be different. It could be, like I said, there's probably markets in California, back east New York and things, Boston, who knows? I don't know exactly where, it could cost a lot more. Then again, too, there's probably areas where it's still a lot cheaper. But in relativity, maybe you're not able to make as much money on the deals. Maybe you're able to make more money on the deals with the different costs to get in, basically, to get that deal. So it's probably all pretty relative. We average, like I said, $2,000 a deal here. The $5,000 is kind of the bare minimum that a wholesaler is looking to make off of a deal. So he's looking at netting a $3,000 profit at the end of the day per deal. So, just do the numbers on that and figure out, what it's going to cost you to get where you want to go. And another thing I'm going to throw in at the end here, just because it was on my mind earlier, is what are you going to do with that money? Okay, you got $3,000 a month coming in, and I realize a lot of you want to do this because you are in the hole. You have debt. You want to get out of debt. You need to pay off a bunch of stuff. All these things. You want to change your life by doing that and starting there. And you can take this $3,000 and maybe you could pay off one of those credit cards, or you could get your car fixed, or do all those things that you're behind on. And I get it. You got to catch up on life first. And I don't discourage you from doing that, but I do want to encourage you to not do it with all of the money that you have coming in off of your first deals. You should immediately, develop the habit of savings and start putting away a portion of that money and start building a savings, because eventually in this business, you're going to probably want to be borrowing some money to get some deals done. And if you don't have anything to come into the game with, skin in the game, as they put it, you're going to have a real hard time finding people that are going to want to give you some money. So if you develop the habit of savings, if you have some money to come into the game with, people see that you're able to save money, that you're somebody who's responsible with money, they're going to be way more willing to loan you some money so that you can land that deal and you can make your next $5,000, $10,000 off of, which otherwise maybe without that cash, you wouldn't have been able to do so. So that's a very, very powerful piece to your growing in your wholesale real estate business, is to not go out and get all excited and spend all your money and have a good time with, with all this money that you're making off of these deals, and actually think to the future, think to advancing your business, and think to put, and I would say, if you're pulling down $3,000, obviously, like I said, if you're pulling down $5,000, $2,000's going back out to make sure that you're getting your next deal. But take that $3,000, improve your life with two of it, and put $1,000 away. Real estate's a big dollar business, and people talk in thousands, not in hundreds. So, putting away $200, $300, $400, $500, isn't going to cut it for you. Put away $1,000 a deal, and improve your life with $2,000 a deal. Get your next deal with $2,000 a deal, and keep the game flowing that way. And eventually, things are going to catch on, pick up. You'll be doing those deals, bi-weekly or whatever it is that's going to get you to the place where you really, really want to go with this business. And then too, since you've been saving money, now you're doing all these wholesale deals. Maybe you go, hey, you know what? I've got 20 grand over here. I could actually do a rehab. This is a great deal. Why should I flip it out to this guy? Maybe I can, get somebody to loan me the money to buy the place, and I got the money to fix the place, and I can do this, and I can make even more money, right? I can increase my profit margin. So those are the things you want to think about moving forward. And, most people always get into this going, yeah, I want to start out wholesaling, and then I want to fix and flip, and I want to end up buying and holding. But they do some wholesale deals and they spend all their money. They get their money, they spend it. They get their money and they spend it. They get their money and they spend it. They're like, hey, when can I want to get into doing fix and flip. When can I do that? Well, you don't have any money. Okay. You got to have some money. Get into the habit of savings right away. Trust me on that one. So with that, everybody, I want to say thank you very much for joining us here today. It's been a great show. I hope that you got some really good tips and tricks out of this, and that you understand a little bit more about wholesaling and the dollars that are involved here, and what your dollars are going towards, and what your dollars need to be going towards, and how to really take those first baby steps and stepping it up and growing your business and getting yourself to the place where you really want to be, the reason why you got here. And with that, we're going to end, as we always do, with the Napoleon Hill prayer, which says, "O universe, I ask not for more riches, but for more wisdom, with which to make better use of the riches given to me at birth, consisting of the power to control and direct my own mind to whatever ends I might desire." And with that, everybody, go out and have a great day. I'm going to take my stiff, sore body and go out there and do some more work in the yard today. Hope you got some fun things to do yourself. We'll see you back on Freedom Friday. Oh, and I apologize for not being here on Monday. My computer was down, had to go in the shop, so there's nothing I could do about that. But we'll be back next Monday for getting back into how to win friends and influence people, and we'll be back here on Freedom Friday with more good stuff. See you then. Bye. Oops.